Alright guys, welcome back into another PGA DFS video. Gonna begin to the sleepers, fades, shoulder shrug plays, and the value picks here for the John Deere Classic. Just doing a quick recap of last week. The fades pretty much did what I wanted them to do. Really, Jason Day was the only poor fade. Other than that, Matthew Wolff really struggled. Will Zalatoris struggled. Max Homa, top 25 finish. That's okay. But once again, kind of going back to the point of it is that, I'd much rather be on some of the other picks in that price point range. Just looking at the players that I kind of went out of my way to go on to get onto in the player pool were Joaquin Niemann and Kevin Kisner. That being said, you could have went with some of the sleeper picks from last week's video. Sungjae Im, 8th place finish. Jason Kokrak, 12th place finish. And Hank Lebioda, 4th place finish. Once again, the sleeper picks are going to be players that have that good upside, but also do have the ability to miss the cut. One of the sleepers were Ryan Armour last week, who ended up missing the cut. So, 3 out of the 4 sleepers made the cut and finished top 12. That's phenomenal. That's not how it's always going to work, but that's why they're sleepers, because they do have that upside, but they do have the ability to miss the cut. Just talking about the value plays, those were 2 secondary value plays that I was on last week. If you guys saw the main video last week, you saw that Adam Schenk was pretty much my favorite value play. He ended up making the cut as well. So, in this video this week, I'm kind of just going to be straightforward with the value picks that are from the main video. So it might be a little bit repetitive there at the end. But let's get into it this week. I'm kind of excited for it. Let's go. So kind of just looking at it, going to be fading Cam Davis coming off of that victory. We just see it time and time again, for the most part, that players coming off of victory tend to lose. That's just, or tend to miss a cut, tend to struggle. It's just kind of a mental thing. So kind of just a simple fade for me there with Cam Davis. And he's also overpriced. I don't get the point of playing Cam Davis, especially too, given the fact that you can get Troy Merritt a lot cheaper for virtually the same play. Now, yes, Troy Merritt ranking third in the mile, Cam Davis ranking out 16th. Maybe that's part of the factor there. But given the fact that Troy Merritt lost him in a playoff, kind of crazy that they're almost 2K price difference. And it's just very crazy to me. But looking at Kevin Na as a fade as well, diving down to a little bit more, 34th rated play in the model. He actually only has a 66% chance to make the cut, which is the worst out of any high tier player this week. Very low, make cut percentage for his price point. Now, it's not horrible. Still a 66% chance to make the cut. That's not horrible, but I don't know, a little bit too risky of a pick for me to pay up for at that price point. Course history wise, miscut and a top 10 finish. Recent form wise, just really hasn't been there at all with Kevin Na. Not ranking out really well staff-it wise, top 36 in the field this week, which is not that great. Maybe he needs to chip in a few times for him to hold some relevance this week. I don't know. It's just kind of a crazy price point for me for Kevin Na this week. And then kind of same thing with Siwoo Kim. These are 2 players that just kind of have some name value, and I think that's why they're getting priced out this much. 9.1 for Siwoo Kim. Now he does rank out top 36 in the model. Ranks out as a top 10 stat rank play. Recent form hasn't been horrible. Top 25 there. Only has 1 start here, which was a miscut. Now, yes, I know Siwoo Kim does have the upside to go on and play well, and wouldn't shock me if he does. I'm just not expecting it. There's some other players like Seamus Power at that 9K price range that I'd rather play. Heck, I'd rather play Patton Kizzire, Kevin Streelman, Russell Henley as well, than I would go out of my way to play Siwoo Kim, Cam Davis, or Kevin Na this week. Then going a little bit lower, going to be fading Sebastian Munoz. Nothing really to it. I just think he's a little bit overpriced. I like Sebastian Munoz as a player, but 8.1. There's some other routes that we can go for a guy that ranks, top 65 in the model. Don't really like that for a guy that's priced at 8.1. So now getting to the sleepers. Does it really count if I have Hank Lebioda in this video 3 weeks in a row? It's kind of the same thing though. Lather, rinse, repeat with him. So miscut here, that's going to be the worry with him. Miscut is one and only start here, but the recent form has been spectacular. 2 straight top 10 finishes, 31st, 17th, miscut, or 51st, and then a 13th place finish for Hank Lebioda for his recent form. 5 straight make cuts in a row on tour. Top 10 stat fit. Really loving it. The only worry with him is that, missed the cut here last year. That's going to be the worry with him. That's why he's only more of a sleeper pick, but he does have that upside to go on top 10 once again this week. Think he's a great play to have in like 10% of your builds this week, but not someone I would feel comfortable with playing in cash, because there's going to be some other safer plays that you can play in cash and in your main build. Another player like that is going to be Aaron Wise, 9.2. Definitely a lot to pay up for him. Definitely not a price point that I want to pay up for him for, but ranks top 20 in the model. Course history wise, miscut, and then a top 16 place finish. Recent form has kind of been over the place, 66th, 9th, 17th, 55th, 9th. That's okay. We like that. Actually ranks out top 10 in recent form rank, top 7 stat fit in the field. I like his upside given the fact that he's a top 10 stat fit, ranks up pretty well in the model, but not someone I want to go crazy with. Would probably only throw him in about 3%, maybe 6% of builds this week, but he does have that upside to potentially go on top 10 this week. Now, another kind of very interesting pick, and I don't know how many of you would have saw this coming, is going to be Bo Hazler this week. 7.8 for Bo Hazler. Not a good stat rank play. Ranks freaking horrible. He has been trash. But he has made the cut in his last 3 events. I want to point that out there. And they've been good made cuts, okay? 25th, 10th, and 19th place finish. That tells me or suggests to me that, he's kind of finding it here. Course history-wise, only 26th place finish. That's fine. We'll take that. I'm okay with taking a risk of chasing some recent form from a guy this week because, we kind of have to do that given the field. So 7.8 for a guy that's made 3 straight cuts in a row with top 25 finishes and also has a top 30 finish here recently or in 2019. I don't mind that. I'm okay with Bo Hazler as a pick. Then really kind of just a hit or miss pick option this week is going to be Duncan, priced at $8K. Top 3 stat fit. Recent form, it's okay. 2 straight made cuts in a row, and then 3 missed cuts, and then a top, 30 finish. I think he was disqualified here in 2018, or he was Giroux. That's what the 101 stands for. But overall, we are chasing that stat fit there with him. We've seen a bunch of the top 5 stat fits on the 9-to-5 model, go out and play well. I wouldn't be surprised if Duncan puts it all together this week and gets a top 5 finish, maybe potentially contends for a victory, but he could also easily miss the cut. It's a guy that you would only want in about 5% of your builds. Now we'll get into a couple of the shoulder shrug picks that are going to be a little bit safer, but probably a little bit less upside there for you. One is going to be Henrik Norlander, ranking out top 35 in the model. His only recent start here at this tournament was in 2016, which is not as relevant, but made cut there. He's made 3 straight made cuts in a row on tour. This is typically the part of the season in which Henrik Norlander tends to play a little bit better. It's kind of the middle stretch he sucks, which we did see again this year, but he does rank out pretty well in strokes gained approach and ball striking. He's a guy that just needs to make some putts and really cut down on their bogeys, and he could be a decent option at 7.3. Nothing to go crazy with, but if you end up on him as the last pick in your lineup, I'm okay with it. Then we're looking at Tyler Duncan. Tyler Duncan, kind of an interesting name to me. I was a little bit surprised that I ended up on him. 3 straight made cuts on tour. We like to see that. Course history rank is pretty good, though. 26th and 12th place finish. That tells me he's pretty comfortable with this course, so it wouldn't shock me if he goes out and makes the cut at 7K. We'd be okay with that for made cut. And then we are going to be looking at one more pick here. That's going to be Lucas Glover. Decent price point there for Lucas Glover. 8.6, yeah. That's up there a little bit, but he does rank out top 5 in the model. Course history rise, 10th and 25th place finish. We don't mind that. Recent form wise does leave a little bit to be desired, but overall top 20 stat fit this week. And just looking at the value play once again, Roger Sloan is the one value play that I really want to go out of my way to play. Ranks out top 10 in the 9-to-5 model this week. I think he's going to be a decent option for you guys this week. If you want to go a different route, if he somehow becomes popular, you could easily go back to the well with Adam Schenk, who was the top value pick last week for 9-to-5. But that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. If you guys want to join 9-to-5 Nation, the link is in the description below. And as always, guys, let's keep cashing.